I'm often asked, can I take my small business and create a $100,000 income for myself? Well, today, that's what we want to talk about. Hey, badass business owner, my name's Tammy, and I'm here to help you grow your business into a six-figure income. I honestly believe that anybody can take their business and make a huge killing in their local community. A lot of that has to do with focusing on that very thing, on your community, versus trying to bounce all over the place and going into multiple different neighborhoods, going across town to another city, stuff like that. I think that ends up hurting you because you don't really focus on the core that is within your 5-mile radius. And I've got previous videos and podcast episodes where I talk about this 5-mile radius, and we'll probably talk about it a little bit more here. Now, the biggest thing is we got to think about that idea, right? Now, please know, I'm not saying that you have to be a plumber, an electrician, or somebody who has notorious high hourly rates. You can do this with something as simple as cleaning trash cans. I know that sounds silly, but believe it or not, there's a lot of businesses out there that just provide the service of cleaning trash cans. And think about it. If you do trash cans, it takes you, what, a half hour to clean them out, $25 for doing it. If you got 4 clients, you got $100. If you do 8 people in a day, you got $200 a day. That all adds up, and you can double your production. A lot of times, even if you have somebody else help you and you're paying them $15, you're making $10 more. I mean, what's your real true cost of goods other than that employee helping you out? So there's a lot of different businesses that are out there that I think that you can make this kind of money, and including yours. The thing is, though, you've got to understand and know exactly what you're doing, which is why on this channel, we're always talking about knowing your business numbers and being smart about how you grow and develop your business. I just want to make sure that the first thing you do is you put it in your head that, hey, I can make this kind of money. Now, you're making money 2 different ways in your business. You have the employee hat you, and you have the business owner you. The reason so many small businesses stay small and never get to that 6-figure income is because they only think of themselves as, hey, I have a handyman business. I run a handyman. I am a handyman. I'm an electrician. I'm a plumber. I clean trash cans. No, you own a business. You are a business owner who happens to do whatever it is that you do. So it's really important that you're wearing that hat, because a business owner is going to really dive into those business numbers and start thinking strategically on how they spend the money in the business and how they go after the business, and also what it is that they provide. A smart business person isn't going to be giving away stuff with very low margins and not making much money unless they have a high volume. But a person who's just doing the job or just thinking of it more as a job versus a career or as a business, what they're doing, though, is they're just taking a job to put money in their pocket, and they're not really even thinking about where that money has to go, what it has to pay. So they'll find themselves making, $300,000 by the end of the year, but yet they personally are only making about 50 grand, maybe even 60 grand because of all their expenses going out, because they're just hustling and they're really wearing that employee hat more than they are wearing that business hat. It's really important that the first line in the sand that you draw, or stake in the ground, whatever analogy you want to use, the very first thing you have to do is start saying, I am a business owner who happens to run X business. I'm also the CEO of this business, and I'm going to start making decisions just like a CEO would. And over the last few episodes, we've talked a lot about you growing your business, right? We talked about the fact that you need to understand those business numbers. You need to be diving into those processes constantly and always improving them. And you need to build a solid team. Now, that brings up the question, can you build a $100,000 a year profit for yourself or income for yourself without employees? Yes, you absolutely can do that. But for most people, it's going to come about scale. So you can only scale things and do so many jobs so many different ways. Either your average ticket has to go up to where you're able to make the kind of money that we're talking about without bringing people in, because there's only so much of you and there's so many hours in the day. So depending upon your business, you may have to have people aboard. Now, that doesn't mean you have to hire them. You could have independent contractors who work for themselves, but they do jobs for you. That's another way to do it. Another example I've used in the past is dog walking. Yes, you can walk one dog or you can walk 5, 6 dogs. People in the city do really good with this because they have like 10 dogs, 8 to 10 dogs. that they're walking, they just go by, pick them all up, and then they go out for the hour and a half. But meanwhile, they're getting cha-ching, 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 cha-ching from multiple people all at the same time. Or they hire other people to help them take the dogs. It just is a matter of how you plan to run your business. You have to think bigger in order to make the kind of money that I'm talking about. But it absolutely is possible. Do you know that a lot of the millionaires, self-made millionaires that are out there, have their own business? They did it through building a business that created the money. And by the way, they didn't just stick it in their pocket. Along the line, they learned how to invest and they learned how to take care of that money once they started making more and more money. Stage 1 is being able to pay your bills. Stage 2 is where you start getting down your bills and you start putting money away and building for that future, because you never know if something's going to happen to you. And if it does, what happens to your business? For example, I was talking to a business owner just last week and they got really, really sick and they were unable to do a lot of the aspects of their business. And what happened to the sales? They started to go down, which happens to a lot of people when they're self-reliant on them being the primary employee of their own business, or they do not farm out and delegate enough of the tasks to the other members of their team, both of which can hurt you. So as a small business owner, it's really important that you put money aside for those days, especially if you're not pulling yourself out of the business. But when you come out of those things, I'll guarantee you, you're looking at A, I'm going to start delegating more, and B, I am also going to start putting money away so that when these situations happen, I can take care of it. You see, along the way of you making this kind of money, you have to make different decisions. You have to think differently. So yes, I'm going to sound like a broken record on this because it's really, really important that this sinks in. Your attitude and how you view yourself in the business will make the difference. So in order for you to be able to make that $100,000 business, once again, let's talk about a couple of the things that are important. One, you need to make sure that you are separating out the employee you and the business owner you, because the employee you working, 30 hours a week being paid as an employee in your business is probably only going to make anywhere between $30 and $40, maybe $50,000. The more profitable your business is, that's where the business owner you gets paid. And that's going to make up the rest of the money that you're making to get to your $100,000 income. So the employee you, yes, that person may not be able to make $100,000, but you need to make sure you're at least getting paid for the employee work that you do. And as you grow the business, more and more of that money shifts over because the money you're making as an employee goes to any other employees that you hire. But your business should become more profitable, so the business owner you is getting paid more. So the challenge that you want to make is saying, okay, well, if I'm going to make $50,000 in my business as an employee, how do I get my business to be profitable enough that me, the business owner, after I pay my taxes, after I reinvest back into my business, that the owner's draw that I can pull will help supplement that business and get me to that $100,000. And by the way, for many of you, you can blow past $100,000 the more profitable you make your business. And trust me, they're out there. I talk to them all the time, and it's just about becoming focused. And there's kind of like this trend that happens with a lot of people is like they kind of plug away, if you will, at that $30,000, $50,000, maybe to 60 or whatever. And then one day the light bulb goes off. And when that light bulb goes off and they really start paying attention to those business numbers and the processes and how to become more efficient, and they start focusing on their local area and start saying, how do I dominate my market? You'll start seeing that it jumps big time on the pay side. It doesn't take forever for you to go up. It really comes down to once you make different decisions in your business and you really start focusing on the profitability of the business, that you see that income go up dramatically. Because once again, too many people are barely making it and taking all that money as an employee, because what they think is they're making all this money as a business owner. But if they actually divided it out by their time doing employee work, as an employee, they're making $5, $10 an hour, and they think they're making all this money, and they're not, because the employee them is making peanuts. The business owner, technically, of them might be thinking they're making money, but the reality is it's not business owner money at all. It's employee money, and they're just not, when they look at the entire picture, they're just not making that kind of money at all. And that's why it's really important you dive into your business numbers, and why I preach it so much, and why I have the course out there for you guys, so you can really start learning those business numbers and really start making differences in it. I want to touch a little bit more on that area because I didn't talk enough about that over the last few videos. A lot of people, they'll do a decent job in their city, and they think, oh, the only way that I can expand is for me to jump over to this city and start doing this city or start doing this city. And that's actually the worst thing that you can do, because for many of you, there's plenty of business in your town or in your area, your immediate surrounding area. And if you don't believe me, unless you're in a really super small market, which I get, okay, you're going to go longer. People are used to people being further. But for most of you, if you think about how many homes are in your area and then think about how many potential people can use your service. For example, if I'm a dog groomer, there's probably dogs in half of those houses. And if I have 10,000 houses, that means there's 5,000 houses with dogs in them. And then if I can just get a small percent, just 10% of that, that's 500 customers that I could have. And I can build a really good, solid business off of that. If I clean windows, every single one of those houses have windows. So they're all my potential customers. Maybe not all of them, because then it might come down to income. If it's a lower income area, then those people probably aren't going to be using my services to clean their window. But if they're a higher income in whatnot, they probably will pay for me to clean their windows. If I'm pet sitting or doing something, they're probably going to have a different type of income. That's where it comes down to really knowing your ideal customer and focusing on them, because that's another part of you growing to making that kind of money. A lot of times what we're doing is we're shooting darts everywhere, hoping we'll hit something. And the problem is you're not focused on the exact customer that you need to be focused on. And that also is going to get your sales to go up and your profitability go up, because when you chase the low end, the cheap people, guess what? You're gonna make no money. But if you start chasing the people that honor the value that you have and they're willing to pay for you to solve that pain point, they're going to pay a lot more money for you. So it also comes down to pricing and targeting the right people. So there's a lot of things, little pieces that you have to do in order to be able to get to that $100,000 income. And maybe we'll focus on that for the next few videos so that we can help you get to that next level, because now I'm having a little light bulb go off of things that we can talk about and really help you go to that next level with your business. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end this puppy. Check out this other video over here, which is where I talk about how you can grow your business and the 3 things that you really want to focus on. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.